Cool, we are live. I don't see that there's too many people here yet, but doesn't matter. In the meantime, I'm gonna talk a little bit about why I'm doing this video, and why I'm taking the time to answer questions of people that are looking for work, and basically until everyone comes in or more people joins the live Q&A, I'm going to share a little bit of the answers that I give to most of the people that ask questions. So feel free to ask questions, but in the meantime, I'm going to say again why I'm doing this. I'm a recruiter. I have been living and working in New Zealand for the last 7 years. I have been working in HR or human resources department for many years now. And I believe that I understand how things work in companies. And many people sometimes don't have that knowledge or don't have all that experience, and sometimes don't understand how things work. So I'm really trying to reduce that gap between companies doing stuff and people looking for work, and trying to share this information with you guys. And that's the main reason why I'm doing this. I don't use my YouTube channel to find people in order to find them jobs directly. The idea of this channel and this Q&A is try to help people find relevant information for their careers, and that's what I'm trying to do with this channel. Main things that people ask me, a lot of people in this channel are interested in moving to New Zealand. So said that currently New Zealand borders are closed, and I believe, to be completely honest and transparent, I believe that they're going to remain closed until the end of the year, 2021 at least. I don't really know. This is just a huge assumption of mine. But yes, I believe that there are many things that you can do in the meantime if you want to move to New Zealand. I say this all the time. I think that the things that you can do is start engaging with people in New Zealand. Try to find colleagues of yours that are working and living here in New Zealand. You can find them by or through LinkedIn, connect with them, and try to build genuine relationships. So that would be my advice. Number one is connect with people in New Zealand that are in the same area you are, and build a relationship with them. So that's one thing, and I will probably, unless I have other questions to answer, I will probably talk a little bit more about that. The other thing that I recommend you to do is find the companies that you would want to work in New Zealand. You can go to Google and find New Zealand companies and see which are the companies that you think that you would want to work at, because just finding a job through the traditional job portals like TradeMe or Seek or any other or LinkedIn, that's just one part of the job. There are a lot of other jobs that are not shown up in those portals. So I think it's very important to really understand which are the companies that you would want to work for, and also try to learn a lot about those companies, because the more you know about them, when you have the chance to talk to someone in that company, then you will be able to leverage all your knowledge into having a stronger relationship or create more interest of the other side, because you really know about them. So that's the other thing that I'm going to be talking about today. And for last is practice what it is that you want to say. Understand what it is, the story you want to share with these other companies or with these other professionals. Make sure that you know how to say it, and also that it's relevant to them. And if English is not your first language, then definitely you can practice in the meantime how you want to say this. Again, I believe that the New Zealand borders in New Zealand are going to be closed at least for the rest of 2021. So if you are in this channel because you want to move to New Zealand, then for sure use this time to practice. I see the first message from Julian. I'm gonna say it in Spanish because I believe he's from Mar del Plata, Argentina. Hi Julian, thanks for watching. For everyone who is there, feel free to ask questions in Spanish or in English. That are both languages that I know, more or less. I always say that living in New Zealand, being a native Spanish speaker, I speak worse in Spanish and I speak worse in English because I don't speak only one. So yeah, but feel free to leave your questions in Spanish or in English. So again, New Zealand borders probably going to be closed for the rest of the year 2021. I want to be completely upfront and honest with that. I'm not trying to get anything specific from this channel more than really trying to help people with their career development. I came to New Zealand 7 years ago under a visitor visa. I came to visit the country. Then I started studying English in order to be able to stay a little bit more in the country and practicing my English. Then I finally got a job that it was quite hard for me to get. They reject my application 3 times before they offer me the job. So maybe I share a little bit of that story for today to encourage you that it's possible at the end of the day to get a job in New Zealand. But yeah, again, my point is I don't want nothing more than being able to provide valuable information for people in the other part of the world, other parts of the world, or even if you're here in New Zealand. So that's my main goal, and that's going to be the main goal of this Q&A, being able to answer questions. So please, if you have questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. And again, you can do it in Spanish if you speak Spanish, and you can do it in English if you are comfortable doing it in English. So what can you do for the next year if the New Zealand borders are going to be closed? So I'm gonna keep going a little bit more into this topic. So my suggestion for you is to have a strategy in order to understand in which companies you would like to work, or what companies would you like to learn about. And for that, the easiest way to do it is to go to Google or go to LinkedIn and find which are the companies in New Zealand that you could be interested in. I'm now going to share, at the same time I'm talking with you guys, I'm going to share a list of 200 companies in New Zealand that hire people in technology, mainly software developers. So I'm going to share this link for you to be able to go in this list. And in this list, you're going to find the name of the company and the LinkedIn page for you to be able to go and find people that it's working in that company as well. So first, find the companies that you would like to work at. Second is start connecting with people on LinkedIn and try to build a relationship. I'm gonna answer the question to Julian that I see that he's here and he has a question. So the question is, how do you see being able to get a job in entry level in IT? You are developing yourself as a data analyst, and you would like to be able to work here or remotely, at least at some point in time. So Julian, I guess that for entry-level jobs as a data analyst, or maybe in the future data scientist, I think that the best thing you can do is to learn a lot about that specific job and find something that really passions you, that it's really a passion to you in data analyst roles. Find that X factor that you are super keen and interested in, that you can kind of make it an obsession. So then when you're talking to all these companies that they have roles of data analyst, you can really share your story and what you're really passionate about. And then start adding people to LinkedIn so they can get to know you during the whole process of learning. Don't wait until you think you know enough in order to start applying for jobs. Start connecting with people in data analyst roles in New Zealand, or in any other part of the world that you would want to relocate or to work remotely, and start engaging with them and trying to have these people as mentors of yours, so they can learn about you as well at the same time that you are learning. So when the time comes that they need to hire someone, they already know you and they might want to give you this opportunity. So that's the way that I highly recommend to everyone to find mentors. Share your knowledge, share the process of you learning over time, so they can get to know you and they can get to know how you learn or how quickly you learn. So when they happen to have an open job and they're considered people remotely, they can consider you. Getting a job, it's everything about adding value. So you have to always ask yourself, how could I add value to this company, to this team? Again, the first thing you can do in order to add value is to know as much as possible about them, about the company, what they're doing, what they're trying to solve, and then try to see if your passion, your obsession about anything in data analysis is something relevant to them, so you can show them that you can help them adding value with something that aligns with your passion. So that would be my answer to your question, Julian. Hope it was useful. If you have any other question, just let me know. But that's what I would recommend to everyone. Find the companies that you would want to work, even if it's on premise when borders are open in New Zealand or any other part of the world. Find those companies, do a lot of research about them. Again, think of what they are trying to do, what they're trying to solve, how they are trying to solve it, and then see if what you know it's of value to them. The best way to get to know if what you know is of value to them is by talking to people. Again, here I'm going to repeat myself. I'm not having a lot of questions, so I'm going to repeat myself until anyone else would like to bring another question. Is get to know these people. The best way to engage with people that you don't know for first time is to be very precise. You need to make it easy for them to get back to you. So let's say that you're looking for remote work in New Zealand, in the United States, in Europe, from your home country, whatever that country is. Start identifying the companies, find the person that you would like to talk to. Usually I recommend to find a colleague. So if you're a data analyst or a software developer, try to find a software developer in that company. I already share a list of companies in New Zealand in one of the comments for you to identify. And then tell them he or she what it is that you're doing. So tell them, hey, I'm Santiago. I'm looking to learn about the companies in the country that you are looking to work for remotely or relocate, and tell them that you are looking to learn about those companies and that you are very curious. For example, I'm gonna give a silly example, that you are keen to learn if those companies are using Scrum methodologies. And tell them that you are just there to learn more about them and their company. So once they reply to you or they connect with you, just say thank you for them to connect with you. And then you can ask them a very easy question and say, hey, thank you very much for connecting with me. I would like to know if you guys in that company are using Scrum methodologies. For them to be able to answer yes, no. Whatever the question you ask, it should be very easy to answer and quick, and to be easy for them and quickly for them to be able to answer you. So once they answer you, let's say, yes, we do Scrum methodologies, then maybe you can ask them if they use Scrum specifically to the detail on what the principles of Scrum says, or if they do any adaptation to their internal policies or internal ways of working. And then you can start building a relationship. You have to be careful. You don't want to ask a lot of questions to the same person. And that's why I always say that the best thing you can do is to have lots of people, hundreds of people around the world. So you can ask very small questions to each of those people. So I'm going to read another question from Julian. Thanks, Julian, for asking those. So the question is, how recruiters work with people like me looking for jobs? You recommend work with multiple recruiters or only one? The end goal is land the best job as possible, I think, right? So first of all, let me tell you what's the job of a recruiter. So the job of a recruiter like myself is to help their clients, in this case, their clients are the company that is hiring, to find them the people they need. So let's say that we have company A. Company A gets in touch with me, Santiago, and they are asking me to hire for a data analyst. So my job is to present candidates that fulfill the requirements of company A when it comes to a data analyst. So that's my job. That's what I'm being paid for. Again, the reason why I'm doing this YouTube channel and this Q&A is to be able to help as many people as possible in any point in time without having to have a conflict of interest with my client. Why I'm saying that? Because if my company A, that is my client, is asking me for a data analyst, let's say with 7 years experience, and with experience in, I don't know, Power BI, SQL, and anything else, if you, Julian, want to apply for that job, I'm not going to be able to help you because from what you're telling me, you're at entry level, so you're not going to be a suitable candidate for my client. So then most recruiters won't want to talk to you because you don't have the skills that their client is looking for. So that's the goal of the recruiter, help their clients to fill the roles they have with the best possible candidates. In your case, Julian, what I would recommend you to do is to see if you have the skills that those recruiters are after. If you don't have the skills that those recruiters are after, it's going to be quite worthless to spend time trying to engage with those recruiters, because if they're not able to place you, and what I mean by place you is by helping you get that job with their client, they won't want to talk to you. Because most recruiters are in sales. What I mean by this, it means that they have a client and they have candidates, and they are looking for those candidates to fill those roles. If they fill that role with their candidate, they earn money. If they don't earn money. So if you don't have the skills, then it's not worth for you to engage with them. And that's why I'm saying that it's way worth to engage with colleagues that are working on those companies and try to get them as mentors in order for them to see how you are learning over time and eventually be able to offer you a job opportunity if it happens that they see that you have the skills. Once you have the skills, definitely engage with recruiters, because they can help you find a job. But the main thing for you to know is, and to figure out, is to see if you have the skills for that job. If you don't have the skills, then it doesn't make any sense to engage with recruiters, because they are not going to get back to you. They're not going to reply to your emails. And also, you have to be very careful if you're looking for remote work, if those recruiters have remote work opportunities, because if they don't, then again, they won't want to talk to you. At the end of the day, the recruiter wants to talk to candidates that they are going to be able to find a job. If they are not going to be able to find a job for that candidate, they then don't want to talk to you. And that's why I decided to do all the content I'm doing. That's why I'm doing my Q&A live. That's why I'm doing all my YouTube videos, because I'm really passionate about helping people with their career. And I have found that this is the best way for me to be able to do it with as many people as possible. So hopefully that answers your question. If you want something else, just let me know. Cool. You're telling me that you have Tableau skills and get going with these strategies for me in New Zealand. Cool, great, keep going. Again, the best thing you can do for the next year, for the whole 2021, is to engage with people you really want to get to connect with as many people as possible on LinkedIn or in any other social media platform that allows you to engage with these people. The other thing that it's very important is how you're going to be able to communicate your skills with a CV, or a resume, or how you're going to be able to communicate your skills when you are in an interview. So think about a job advertisement. So when you're looking to apply for jobs and you see the job ads, try to read your CV and see if your CV has all the relevant information that is described in the job advertisement. Most of the times when I read CVs, they don't necessarily talk about their skills in relation to the job advertisement. So in this case, if your CV doesn't showcase your skills exactly how the job ad is saying it, then they're not going to call you again. So it's very, very important that you tailor your CV towards the job ad. And this means that for each job application that you do, you need to adapt your CV to that job application. This doesn't mean that you have to do it all again from scratch, but it means that, let's say that you have bullet points, and let's say that you have Tableau skills, and that you have SQL skills, and you have Python skills, but the job advertisement says that the most important thing is SQL. So in your CV, even though you have Tableau skills and you have Python skills, what you want to talk more about in that CV for that job application, it's about SQL. So you really want to tell them what it is that you can do with SQL. You can do queries. You can set up a database of SQLs from scratch. Talk about SQL. That is what they are saying that they need and they want. So make sure that your CV talks about that. That's one example for the CV. And the other thing is, when they call you for an interview, make sure that you're going to be able to accurately explain and present all the information about your skills in a way that they will get to understand your the level of knowledge you have for the skills that you say you have. It's important not to only tell the people in the interviews what it is that you know how to do, but how it is that you do it. So let's say that you know how to, again, let's use the example of SQL. If you say that you are advanced when it comes to experience with SQL, in the interview, you need to be able to accurately explain what it is and how it is that you do things with SQL. I recently posted a few videos about this. But again, it's very important to practice the communication when it comes to interviews. Many times, people have the skills to do the job, but most of the times people don't have the skills to prove in an interview process that they do have the skills to do the job. Cool. Thanks, Julian, again for participating. So yeah, I have a video on how to update your LinkedIn and what's the relevant information. But yeah, LinkedIn, it's a very powerful tool to have it as a kind of like e-commerce for yourself. You know, it's like there are companies, there are recruiters, there are hiring managers there, and if they can find you on LinkedIn for a specific job, then you're gonna make your life easier. And for that, I'm gonna also talk a little bit about why it is important to create content. In this case, probably LinkedIn, it's a very good platform to do it, to share your knowledge. So again, I'm gonna use the example of Julian that has been quite active in the Q&A today. Julian, if you're learning a lot of new things when it comes to data analysis, make sure that you are sharing all those skills and that learning process on LinkedIn. Because if you're engaging with people, there's gonna be some people that won't accept your invitation to connect. There's gonna be people that won't do it. There's gonna be people that will accept your invitation to connect, but won't get back to you, won't answer your questions, won't want to be your mentor. But still, they might be seeing the feed of what you post on LinkedIn. So that's why it's very important that you can post about or write articles, write posts on what it is that you're learning, and again, how it is that you're learning, and being able to explain the trade-offs of your learnings and the trade-offs of using one tool or the other, why Tableau and why not Power BI, or why not using just plain databases, or how you can use Python to leverage the database and then using it with other tools like Tableau or Power BI. So it's very important that you can share all this knowledge on LinkedIn, writing articles, writing posts, in order for those people that have connected with you but they're not getting back to you, to start seeing all the knowledge you have. And maybe over time, these people start answering to you because they can see that you are very active online and that you have a lot of knowledge. And then they are more interested and more engaged to get back to you. So that's why it's very important to start creating content on LinkedIn in this case, to build your brand and to share your knowledge. This is way more important than only applying to jobs online, because in this way you're going to be able to scale the opportunities that you're going to have. I know that this is not easy. It's not easy to all of a sudden start doing your work, learning new things, taking care of your family or taking care of your relationship with friends, and then also creating content. I know it takes a lot of time. And for me, the best thing you can do with this is start commenting on other people's content. So again, here it's an opportunity on something that you can do is start following on LinkedIn all the companies that you are interested in. And then when they are doing some post or an article or whatever, share your thoughts and do comments, write comments to share your thoughts and your point of view, for people to start seeing what it is that you know and what's your point of view and what's your skills. This is an easy way to start creating content. Creating content can be just liking posts, like that's the easiest thing to do, but the return of that is not huge. Second thing that you can do is start writing comments on companies, posts on other people that are a reference in the field, maybe a super experienced data analyst or data scientist. Another thing that you can do is start creating content by commenting on their posts or even asking questions. You don't need to have a clever thing to say. Maybe it's just saying thanks for sharing that content and that feedback. Or the other thing that you can do is asking a question. That's another thing that you can definitely do in order to start creating awareness of who you are and what it is that you're after. And most of people is not doing this. So definitely, I highly recommend to everyone to do this, because you will definitely have a competitive advantage. And I understand that most people don't do it because they're afraid of what people will think of them by doing this, or if most of people don't think that they have something worth to say, or that the knowledge or their point of view are not super relevant, because, well, I don't know much about data analysis, so why I'm gonna put a comment or something like that. But if you think about it, there's going to be people that have even less experience than you, and by you creating a comment or writing a question or something like that, you're going to be able to help others as well. Let's say that someone wants to get into data analysis. If you write a post or an article sharing why you decided to become a data analyst, and what were the things that make you think that you could be a good data analyst, that could be of help to someone else that is on the same path, that it's maybe looking to do a career change and seeing others that have changed their career or getting to something new, it could be something that motivates them to do it. So all these things are super relevant and important, and for me at least was what it made me get some courage and start doing what I'm doing. So to be completely transparent, there are 3 people today watching this live Q&A. For me, that's more than enough. Even answering all these questions to Julian, it's already nice for me to help him and the other people that are watching this live. So the same is for you guys. If you are creating content or writing, asking questions that's going to benefit you and also maybe other people, that's more than enough in order for you to start creating content. And at the end of the day, by you doing all these things, you're going to be able to discover things that you don't know that you don't know. What I'm trying to say with this, if you start creating content on LinkedIn, there might be people that you don't know that might be seeing that content, and they might have a job opportunity, and because of seeing your content, they might want to offer you that. A recruiter that might see your content might say, it's like, this guy looks amazing for this junior role I have, and they don't mind to hire someone remotely, and they're looking for a junior. Indeed, currently, it happened to me that I have a client that it's looking for a junior developer, front-end developer, and it's remotely. So if I come across someone that is writing clever stuff or asking clever questions, and I see that consistently at the time I have an open role as a recruiter, I will remember about this person first to get in touch with, to offer this job opportunity, way more than someone that has only applied to my job ad on a specific web portal, job portal, or LinkedIn, because I already kind of know that person, because I see the content that that person is posting over time, and I can see the level of knowledge that the person has. So that's why it's super important to create content, because you're creating online awareness of who you are and the brand. Cool. Is there any other question there? Thanks for the feedback, Santi. I will test this for a couple of weeks and see how my profile views increase. How different is the IT market there than here? I'm in a job hunting perspective of your field. Cool. So I think that the main thing, the main difference between Argentina, in this case, and New Zealand, when it comes to an interview process or a recruitment process, is that the New Zealand market is way smaller than the Argentinian market. So that means that the companies are smaller than in Argentina. So that means that most of the time, the people that are in the companies in New Zealand, usually, not always, but most of the time, they have maybe a little bit of wider experience and they have more expertise, because they are small teams. They need that everyone in that team has sound knowledge of what they're doing. So let's give an easy example. If you're a junior, or let's say that you're an intermediate in a company like Globant in Argentina, maybe an intermediate in Globant in Argentina, it's less experienced than an intermediate software developer in New Zealand. Why? Because it's a smaller company. They have to have more knowledge to give value to their team, when maybe in a bigger team, someone who is an intermediate doesn't have to give so much value to the team, because there's more people there with more experience. So that's one example. Usually the seniority here, it's above people in Argentina. Not always, of course, but that could be a difference I see. And the other difference is that what I have seen in Argentina is that or in other countries in Latin America and even in the States, in the United States, is that companies are more used to hire people with less experience, and they help them develop their skills through them doing the job. Again, because New Zealand is a small market, when they are hiring, they really want to hire more experienced people, and there's not too much room for less experienced people, and makes that the recruitment process are quite thorough, and they are quite intense. And that's why it's very important to have a very compelling CV that shares your skills in a very clear way, in a very accurate way. And when it comes to interviews also, it's very important to be very prepared to answer not what you do, but how you do it, and also why you do it. And the why, it's more about the culture fit and your passions and things like that. So I would say that those are the main things that I would see as a difference between these two markets. But I think that even for the Latin American market, I would highly recommend to most Latin Americans to focus quite a lot in communication. Also, as Latin Americans, usually we are a little bit more informal. And when it comes to the recruitment process with companies in the countries like the United States or UK or New Zealand or Australia, because they are a little bit more formal, the communication needs to be more formal as well. And by formal in this case, I mean that you have to give more context of what it is that you're doing, and in a very accurate way. It's not talking about examples on the air, but being able to share a specific example. So if they ask you, okay, do you have experience with Tableau, let's say, for example, or SQL, or whatever the tool that you're using for databases, it's you not have to only explain, yeah, I have experience with SQL, and just give it a little bit of a high level overview. You probably have to give a straight answer and say, yeah, I do have experience with SQL, and I use SQL to do databases with SQL from scratch in order for more junior people to be able to do queries on it. And I do all the tuning and performance of the database, and I do it in this and that way, because I believe that this is what the business needs in order to achieve the goals of the team and the business in an X amount of time. You have to be very precise with the information you share, and in a very accurate way. That's usually where most people fail in the recruitment processes. Not because they don't have the skills on how to do the job, but they don't have the skills to accurately explain on how they do the job. And usually the interviewers believe that this candidate doesn't have enough skills, and that's why that's not the right person for the job. That's something I see quite a lot. I work quite a lot with Latin American candidates, people that are wanting to come to New Zealand, or people that are already in New Zealand. And many times I see that sometimes their English skills are not there yet, but most of the time it's not that they don't have the English communication skills, but they can't accurately explain their experience in a way that people can kind of prove that you know how to do the job. So that would be something that I would highly recommend for people to work on. There is this institution or organization that it's called Toastmaster International. I think they are quite all around the world, and basically Toastmaster International, it's an organization that helps people to work on their communication skills when it comes to do presentations. Could be online presentations or face-to-face presentations, or be a keynote speaker. And they help you to articulate all the information you want to share in a way that it's engaging, in a way that keeps people attention, and in a way that, most important, that you can share the information you want to share in a nice and tidy way for people to get that information and be able to do something with it, like the right posture, the right tone, the right way of presenting the information. I believe Toastmaster International can be of a lot of help for anyone who is in the process of doing job interviews. Cool. Thanks, Julian, for that. For anyone who wants to engage with me, definitely connect with me on LinkedIn. I share my LinkedIn profile in each video of mine. Again, usually I try to get back to everyone. Sometimes I might do it in a couple of days. To be completely honest, sometimes I miss the messages because I don't believe that LinkedIn Messenger is the best. And if I don't get back to the person in a couple of days, then maybe that message get lost. So feel free to follow up with me. And if I haven't get back to you in a couple of days or in a week, definitely follow up with me. Also try to see if you can find that information in my videos. I'm really trying to share everything I know in my videos, but definitely if it's not there and you want to ask me a question, feel free to go for it. And yeah, I think that's all for today. Unless anyone else has another question, I will have the next Q&A next Monday in New Zealand, Sunday in the rest of the world, for the most part of the day. Again, my goal with this YouTube video channel, and all my videos is to help you with your career. My best advice by talking to thousands of people a year is to talk with other colleagues, talk with people that are maybe one step ahead of you or two steps ahead of you, and learn from their experiences. Make sure that you're always talking to other people to level your skills and see if your skills are on demand or not. You might be super experienced in a company and you be the one that is most experienced in that company, but at the end of the day, you don't know if those skills outside of that company are valuable or not. So it's very, very important to talk to other people to understand if your skills are on demand or not, and also to see what else you have to learn in order to be able to be very competitive and get the best salaries in the best currency, and the best job opportunities. And most of the time, the best job opportunities are not there on job advertisements. A lot of times, yes, but a lot of times, no. So cool. Thank you very much for everything. Thanks for being here today, to all of you. And I'm going to be here next Monday. If it happens that you have questions from what you have seen today or from videos that you have been watching, so I'm going to be here next Monday again, same time for the following weeks. So hope that I can see you here again. Thank you very much for being there. It's amazing that I had some people with me today for my first Q&A live. Really excited about it, and see you next week. Thank you very much and have a great week ahead. Bye bye.